The latest Warhammer game is more than epic. We were missing this type of games. Only issue with this game is it was a little short, we wanted more of it. So here are some games you should definitely give it a try if you want more of Warhammer. Gears of War. Starting of my list with Gears of War. If you love sci-fi action, huge guns, and even bigger dudes, then this is your jam. Combat in Gears is like a symphony of testosterone and explosions. You've got the Lancer, that chainsaw gun I mentioned, because why just shoot when you can cut them in half, and a bunch of other weapons that make you feel like you could take on anything. What really sets Gears of War apart is its cover system. You can't just run in guns blazing. Well, you can, but you'll die in seconds. You need to duck, weave, and pop out from behind walls and rubble to shoot without getting splattered across the landscape. It's like a deadly game of peekaboo, but with explosions. Next is both Doom and Doom Eternal. How can I miss this game? Doom Eternal is like drinking 5 energy drinks, throwing on a metal album, and then launching yourself into hell with a bazooka. It's fast, brutal, and over the top in the best possible way. If you've ever wanted to feel like the universe's most unstoppable force of destruction, this game's got you covered. Oh, and let's not forget the music. The soundtrack is pure metal, like guitar riffs so intense they could probably raise the dead. Every fight feels like you're in a heavy metal music video, except instead of headbanging, you're smashing demon skulls with your fists. If you still haven't played it, it's a no-brainer. God of War. Yeah, I know, it may not have guns, cannons, but you have Kratos in this game. Why do you need guns? Just make Kratos angry. This game was a banger in every way. You have great story, puzzles, stunning visuals, and a beautiful journey where we see Kratos as Dad of War. If you're into emotional journeys and brutally smashing your way through mountains of mythological creatures, this game is an absolute must-play. Just don't be surprised if you start calling everyone boy by the end of it. Vanquish. It's an incredibly fun and fast-paced shooter. Even though the gameplay feels slightly dated in some areas, the game runs extremely well for a 10-year-old game. The visuals are pretty decent, though it's mainly because of interesting art direction rather than mind-blowing graphics. You're inside an enormous cylindrical orbital colony. The sliding boost and bullet time mechanics are well integrated into the flow of the game. It's a lot of fun to simply play. You can light up a cigarette in the middle of a firefight, and then you can flick it away from you to distract the enemy so that you can kill them with greater ease. It's such a quirky thing, but it works in the context of the story. Helldivers 2. This game feels like a movie. I mean, just look at this clip. I have yet to try it with my friends. I had a blast playing this game. I loved it. Helldivers 2 is a fast-paced, laugh-out-loud, explode your friends while saving the galaxy kind of game. If you're into co-op chaos, juggling enemy hordes, calling in airstrikes, and trying not to get flattened by a supply drop, simple turns into, I really hope I don't screw this up. You'll be laughing 1 minute, and then absolutely panicking the next, as everything goes sideways in the most spectacular way possible. Just remember, trust no one when it comes to airstrikes. Especially not your friends. Middle-earth: Shadow of War. This game launched in 2017. The game looks spectacular, with large cities like Minas Ithil and sprawling landscapes, like Gorgoroth rendered in wonderful detail. The orcs themselves have even more variety and intricacy, coming in all sorts of shapes and sizes. All in all, Tolkien's world has never looked better in a game. The Assassin's Creed / Arkham hybrid-style combat that worked so well in the first game is retained in SAL and built upon nicely with a fluid, easy-to-pick-up but tough-to-master system tweaked to add new layers of depth, going from a flurry of melee attacks into some elf magic blasts or domination feels great to pull off. So yeah, Middle-earth. Shadow of War is like a personal revenge-filled opera where you star as the vengeful ranger / wraith hybrid. You'll climb fortresses, backstab, or be backstabbed by orcs. Space Marine 1. If we were talking about the second game, why not about the first? This game is no different from the new one. The setting is classic 40K. Everything is dark, grim, and if it's not covered in skulls and purity seals, then you're probably in the wrong universe. Space Marine is how it blends melee combat and gunplay. You're swapping between your massive bolter, essentially a hand cannon that spits explosive rounds, and getting up close and personal with your trusty chainsword. Every swing makes you feel like you're in the middle of a bloody ballet, except instead of dancing partners, it's just orcs being turned into green goo. It's kind of like using a blender on orc mode. If you love the second one, it's worth playing the first one, I promise. Lost Planet 2. Lost Planet 2 is like Monster Hunter had a baby with Gears of War. You're running around in mechs, the kind of exosuits that make you feel like a giant walking tank. You've got these massive customizable suits called VSs, vital suits, that can turn you into anything from a mini tank to a jetpack wearing badass. You can smash, shoot, and generally cause mayhem with these things, and they're essential for taking down the game's behemoth-sized enemies. Now, the combat is where things get really wild. You're not just fighting alien creatures, you're also dealing with other human factions who want a piece of the thermal energy pie. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I really enjoyed this game. The game is set in a near-future world where private military companies are running the show and things have gone completely off the rails. The combat is where Revengeance truly shines, or rather, glows with neon lights and explosive energy. You're zipping through enemies at lightning speed, performing ridiculously stylish combos, and using your sword to cut through everything in your path. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Raiden's blade can slice through cars, giant robots, and even entire buildings if you're feeling particularly destructive. It's like the developers said, what if we made a game where everything was destructible and the hero could cut through it all with ease? The result is pure, unadulterated chaos. Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is super underrated game. I remember I was looking for a new game to try, then I stumbled across a Reddit post where almost everyone mentioned Titanfall 2, and I am glad I took the comments seriously. The campaign in Titanfall 2 is surprisingly heartfelt and well-crafted. It's got a story that's more than just robot punch and explosions. It's about friendship, duty, and a robot who's more reliable than your average sidekick. The relationship between Jack and BT is the emotional core of the game. Titanfall 2 is just as awesome. I really enjoyed the multiplayer too. You can tweak your Titans and pilots with different loadouts, skins, and abilities. Titanfall 2 delivers a blend of action, heart, and giant robot glory that's hard to beat. And remember, in this game, being a tiny pilot in a giant robot's world is not only thrilling, it's downright epic. This game deserves more respect. So here are some games I thought were similar to the latest Warhammer game. Comment down some games you think I missed. Don't forget to smash that like button. And subscribe if you don't want to miss the next one. Until then, keep gaming, keep laughing, and keep pressing those buttons like they owe you money. Until next time, stay pixel perfect. Gaming Pulse out.